welcome. And today we are going to be just explaining to you some of the services that we would provide in the Healing Center that are different than what we provide today, are in, for the most part, that category of services that we think of as complementary and integrated, which includes acupuncture. It includes manual manipulation, the chiropractic. It involves education around chronic diseases and just simple steps that you can do to prevent certain illnesses and what we can do to treat the diseases that we do have. So education is going to be a huge part. And though it's not limited to the complementary medicines, it's something that we'll now be able to offer under the federally qualified health center model. I think two areas that we are going to be focusing on in the healing center that we are not doing now as it pertains to diabetes and hypertension is we're looking at two things. Number one, group visits, and number two, a kitchen classroom. Number one, the group visits from the standpoint of being able to bring 8 to 10 people together at one time and talk about the diseases rather than just singularly day after day going over the same information 8 to 10 times a day. That's going to be very exciting. And also from the standpoint of teaching adult learners, they learn from each other and are able to support each other. And so in the rural health model that we're serving in, the group is going to be very, very helpful in sustaining each other and supporting each other. Now, as it pertains to the kitchen classroom, we can tell you to eat all of the broccoli that's in the grocery store. But if you never had broccoli before, the chances of you trying broccoli are slim to none. And so we're going to have a kitchen classroom where the things that we are recommending that are going to be healthier, and we are still going to be using soul food kinds of diets, but we're going to be cleaning up some of the fat and some of the sugar and some of the salt that doesn't need to be there. And we're going to be actually having this training in the kitchen classroom so that you can participate in the preparation of these foods as well as new foods that we'll be introducing you to that are going to be helpful for your health. The environment, the atmosphere, the look in the healing center is going to be revolutionary. It's going to be totally different from anything that you're comfortable with in terms of looking at doctor's offices in the past, where you have the basic waiting room and people are sitting there and kind of staring at the walls until it's time for them to be seen by the provider. But in this environment, we're going to use art on the walls. We're going to use that as therapeutic means of stimulating the minds. We're going to use even the aromas coming from the kitchen classroom, the olfactory sense being stimulated and being really, really encouraged in a nutritional kind of way. We are going to be using the atmosphere of the hearts of the staff that make you feel welcome and make you feel that this is your medical home. Some other modalities that we're going to be bringing in to the healing center that aren't available now. We have something called biosound therapy, where the patient lays on the bed that vibrates to different sounds and gives you treatments for conditions like depression, insomnia, anxiety, PTSD, pain, and the list goes on and on in terms of that therapy. We have a therapy where people who have problems with incontinence, they sit on this chair that has electromagnetic stimulation that actually stimulates their muscles to contract at a rate of 10,000 contractions in 30 minutes. And they're very similar to the Kegel exercises, but they're a lot more effective. And so we have treatments for that. And those of you who may be suffering from leakage or downright incontinence can imagine how this is going to improve the quality of your life. We have also another electromagnetic device that strengthens the pelvic muscles. And so it helps to in the prevention of falls. And falls contributes to unnecessary deaths in the elderly. So if we could get those pelvises strengthened in such a way that they are now able to support themselves without falling, this is going to be tremendous in terms of the new kinds of modalities that we're going to be bringing on board. We're going to have bariatric chambers for hyperoxygen therapy. We're going to have IV therapy. Many people talk about getting IV B12 and other kinds of energy enzymes, etc. We're going to have those kinds of technologies available in the healing center model. Another area in the complementary medicines is that we, Truvine FQHC, will have a pharmacy that is going to supply the supplements and vitamins that we're going to be learning about. We have physicians trained in the modalities of herbs and spices and treatments that we don't necessarily go to the pharmacy to pick up. And so all of these kinds of modalities, those that'll be talked about in the lectures that'll be given by the doctors that are specialized in these areas, they will be available in the FQHC, the Healing Center itself. I think the time for the Healing Center has come, and I think it's going to be embraced by the community just with open arms. When we think of the region called the Bible Belt, where we are located here in South Carolina, we are the buckle of that belt. And so I've already gotten a lots of feedback from the community in terms of looking forward to having that spiritual element be a part of what we're going to be offering along with those complementary medicines and the Western medicine we are already doing. And they're just hoping that we keep that spirit of peace and love that we have in the service that we give to the communities. And we certainly are planning on just having that grow as our spirits grow. When I was growing up in rural South Carolina, I always had a desire to help make it a better place to live and to work and to play. And that stayed with me all throughout my journey. When I finished high school and went to undergraduate school at South Carolina State University, I kept knowing that I needed to leave South Carolina because I wanted to make it a better place. And I thought that what I could do in learning from other places and how people lived in other places would be very, very important information to bring back to South Carolina. And so my journey from here to California to do medical school, to Wilmington, Delaware to do my residency, to an Indian reservation out in Eastern Oregon to do my National Health Service Corps payback before coming back here in 1989. I was learning a lot about human nature, and I was also learning about the social determinants of health in all these different places. And so all of this information I have been able to bring back to South Carolina, and even since being here in South Carolina, and all of the experiences have helped me to realize that if there is one thing that I could leave as a legacy, it would be a healing center, whereby the important things of the body, the soul, and the spirit are really brought together in an environment where health is paramount, prevention is key. And so when I would go to the various places and see how the poor lived in Los Angeles versus the poor in Delaware versus the poor on the reservation, and it helped me to understand that their struggles were all not the same, although they all saw themselves as being poor. And so it was learning from those experiences that helped me to better understand the elements that would be important for our bodies, our physical health, for our minds and our emotions, our soul, as well as our spirit, our connection with God and humanity. Our moving next door and expanding and uplifting our services in Santee are a step to get us to where we're going to be in 5 years. I would say in 3 years, we should be able to source land, hopefully in an opportunity zone if they're still around, so that we can build what we really, really have envisioned in terms of the healing center, which is a state of the art community that is going to blow people's minds. And in 5 years, that's where we're going to be. And we're going to be a beacon of light for the world in transforming health and healthcare. We're using what we're doing here in Orangeburg County to work out the tweaks. But as it looks at this industry in terms of rolling out healing centers, I think this is what the world is looking for. I've gotten lots of feedback from people near and far that this is something that is going to just transform how we see health in the world and the things that we can do, utilizing the things that God created to make us healthier. We're looking at the newest and latest technologies that are available in healthcare, and we have some things that we're very, very excited about. We're participating with a company called Garnet Health, which has a blood based screening tool for colorectal cancer. We're very, very excited about that. We're looking to work with a company that is helping us to decide what's the best medicine for your condition based upon your genetics and how your bodies are going to metabolize those medicines. And so we're very, very excited about those kinds of technologies. We're also looking at sound technology and light technology for certain treatment conditions, electromagnetic therapies we're looking at. And so we're very, very on the cutting edge of looking at technologies that we will be utilizing in the Healing Center. The transition from what we have been doing under the Rural Health Clinic and what we will be doing under the FQHC is seamless, and there shouldn't be any glitches or hiccups for the patients whatsoever. As we always get updated information every time the patient comes into the office, we'll still be doing that. But in terms of the changes that are taking place, communities that we serve should only see them as improvements. And one of the areas that I'll talk about in terms of seeing the improvements is now that we have partnered with a pharmacy and have in-house pharmacy, the patients who are utilizing that are very, very appreciative. And so we're looking at that and other means of really, really making it convenient for the patients. I haven't come across many naysayers about the Healing Center project, and I think that's a good thing in a sense. It's because we're not building it for the naysayers. We're building it for the people who understand the importance of holistic health and how this provides an opportunity to really, really provide holistic health in a way that we have not been accustomed to. If there are two or three major points I'd like to tell you about as it pertains to the Healing Center, is number one, it is a place that you are going to have an opportunity to experience a new level of health, a healthier level of health if you participate in what we are offering. The second thing is that it is all about the simple principles of managing differently what you're eating and what you're drinking, getting away from so much of the sugar, the salt, and the fat that is in your diet, increasing your exercise to the point of exercising 30 minutes 5 times a day, whatever your favorite thing to do is around that. Looking at the drinks, drinking water. Water is the purest thing that we can put in our systems. And it amazes me the number of you who says, well, I don't like water. I don't like the way it tastes. And we have to really, really be cognizant of the fact that we are going to be eating and drinking to be healthy. And instead it'll say, and we are going to be eating to live and not living to eat. And so the sugary drinks, we're going to be looking at how we might look at other options than some of the things that you are currently eating and drinking. We have to look at artificial and how we can take anything that's artificial out of what we are consuming in our bodies. Our bodies were not designed to metabolize artificial stuff. And in terms of thinking, we've got to really have you to learn truths that are Bible principles that assists us in healthy living.